guys, it's Sarah, and today I am going to be sharing with you all of the books that I bought on our BookTube Besties trip. We just recently got back from our trip to Phoenix, Arizona, and it was awesome. We had a really great time. It went way too fast, but we just had a great weekend, and we just laughed and shared and just enjoyed each other's company. And we did do a little bit of shopping. We actually only went shopping one day, so that was good. And I ended up bringing home 12 books total, which is probably the least amount from all of our trips that we've taken so far. But yeah, it was still good. Okay, so the funny thing is, Krista and I traveled together because we only live about 2 hours apart. So she came up to me and then we went to the airport together. But on her way into my neighborhood, there is a library in my neighborhood, and she was driving by and they had a book sale that was starting. And I knew that there was a book sale happening that weekend. I just didn't think it would be something that I was going to be able to go to because we were going to be gone. Well, with the timing of when Krista got there versus when we needed to be on the road, we had some time. And the first thing she said was, "Your library is having a book sale. We're going." I was like, okay. So we did. And I ended up getting 3 books there. So the first one is Wish Tree. This is by Catherine Applegate. This is a middle grade book, and I've heard very, very good things about this. The chapters are like 2 pages, very, very short, and some illustrations in here as well. But I've heard that this is incredible, and I have read Catherine Applegate before. I really liked what I've read from her, so I would definitely like to read some more. And this is one that Krista definitely gives a lot of high praise to, and she practically said, "You haven't read this? Here, take it." So I got this one. And then I got Heir of Navron by Michael J. Sullivan. This is part of the Ryeria Revelations series. I need to go into a little bit of a deep dive on the order to read these books in. This is a compilation of 2 books. There are, I believe, 6 books in this series, and they have been compiled into duology bind-ups. And this is the 3rd compilation. I have the first one downstairs, which is called Theft of Swords. There's a second one called Rise of Empire that I was trying to locate while we were out shopping, and I could not find it anywhere. So that's something I'm going to have to maybe see if I can get it work, very possibly. But I have the first one. I have the 3rd one. I just need to get the 2nd one, and then I'll have the full 6-book series. But I have heard very, very good things about this author and his writing. And these series that he writes a couple different series, but there's another one that is set in the same world that I need to figure out which one I need to start with. Do I start with this series or do I start with the other series? I'm not quite sure. I have some videos saved that I can watch from people who have read everything that he's written. So I'm going to kind of look at those and see, but yeah, I mean, it was $2. So why not? And then I ended up getting Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card. Now, this is an interesting one because this is one that I've been wanting to read for a while. I've heard very, very good things about this book. Read it. It is a very highly coveted science fiction novel. And yeah, so I have it now. Okay, we went to a couple of bookstores in the Phoenix area. One of them was a big used bookstore called Bookman's, which was one of my favorite bookstores when we lived in Tucson. So we went to one that was in Phoenix. The store was interesting. It was very kind of tight. There were lots of nooks and crannies, and it felt a little bit condensed versus the one that I went to in Tucson, which was very spread out and very open. So it was a little interesting in that it was a little bit of a different atmosphere there. And there were a lot of people there. I mean, it was a Saturday, so it was very busy. And we met some subscribers, which was super awesome. So check out Krista's vlog for that. And you can see us kind of meeting some subscribers and stuff. But that was super awesome. So I did get a few books there, though. I think I ended up getting 5 books. The store was big, very overwhelming. And definitely something, I had like a little bit of a list of things that I was specifically looking for, and I could not find most of them. So that was great. But I did find a few things, and it was just by kind of scanning the shelves and kind of just looking around. So one of them is Into the Drowning Deep. This is by Mira Grant. Now, Mira Grant is also, she writes under Shauna McGuire. So I think Shauna McGuire is her actual name, and then Mira Grant is a pen name that she uses. And this one is mermaids. I think like killer mermaids from what I'm understanding. I have been specifically told, Sarah, you will really like this book by multiple people. So definitely interested. And when I saw it for a really good used copy for, a decent price, I went ahead and grabbed this one. And then I ended up picking up Hamnet. This is by Maggie O'Farrell. This is Shakespeare's son, who I think passed away, like in real life, his son passed away. And I think Hamlet was kind of based off that experience that Shakespeare dealt with. And so this is kind of inspired by that story. And yeah, it's something that's been on my radar for a while. And then Jennifer, one of our patrons, had said that she loved Hamnet, and she ended up getting Maggie O'Farrell's newer one. But she had told me, I really loved Hamnet. And so I was like, are there copies over there? Because I think I want one. She was like, yep, I'm going to go get it. So yeah, she grabbed this one for me. So excited to read this one. And then I grabbed The Lions of Fifth Avenue. This is by Fiona Davis. This is the one that is set in the New York City Public Library, which I am very much interested in because I have been to the New York City Public Library before. So I think it would be fun to read a book that is set there. And I've heard amazing things about Fiona Davis. Have I read anything by her? No. Do I have multiple books by her? Yes. Yes. This one is one that it was on my list. I was looking for it. I had a feeling I was going to be able to find it there, and I did, no problem. And that is Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. I am very much interested in reading this. I'm going into this one with a little bit lower expectations based on just some things that I've heard, but I've heard it's fun. I've heard it's good. And, it's a young adult fantasy series. It's probably going to be full of tropes, but I don't care. I really like Victoria Aveyard and her Instagram account. I love following her on Instagram. She has a great account. And yeah, I want to give her a try. I haven't read anything by her. So I grabbed this. I also have Realmbreaker, which is another one of her series. The first book in that, I got that at a used bookstore as well. So I have a couple of her books. I just need to give one of them a try. Okay, and the last one that I got at Bookman's is 5 Days at Memorial. This is by Sherry Fink. Now, this is a nonfiction book that follows the experiences of a nurse doctor. I don't know exactly who it's following, but it's following Memorial Medical Center, which is a hospital that was treating patients during Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans. And the things that were happening, things that were making it difficult to treat patients, what was happening with the patients that were coming in. There was a lot going on and a lot of bad things going on. We all know how that whole response was awful to that disaster. And yeah, so I'm very interested in seeing what this is all about. Now, after I bought this book, my friends were like, I heard that was dry. I'm like, great. But I still want to read it. I still am very, very interested. It might be something that maybe I need to listen to versus read, but if it's really, really good, I would like to have it on my shelves. So yeah. So I'll have it if that's something that can work out. But yeah, oh man, just the pictures. That's going to be hard because I very much remember Katrina and all of that stuff that was happening. So, but yeah. Okay, and then we went to the Poison Pen, which is in Scottsdale, which was amazing. That bookstore was incredible. And at first, I was kind of like, they don't have anything on my list, blah, blah, blah. But the more I walked around, the more I found. And then talking to the bookseller there, he was amazing and sold, like he was selling us on books left and right. I'm like, you are very good at your job, sir. You are very, very good. He was really enthusiastic and very knowledgeable and, had read a lot of the new releases and knew where everything was. And yeah, it was great. So we had a really, really good experience at that bookstore. And I did find 4 books that I wanted to get. Now, one of these was on my list of what I wanted to seek out and purchase. And then the other ones are definitely ones I obviously still want to read. But the one that was on my list is The Boyfriend Candidate. This is by Ashley Winstead. And this is the second of her contemporary books that she's written. The first one is called Fool Me Once. I haven't read it yet, but this one follows a character from that first book and kind of her story. So, yeah, but now I have the second one. I really need to give Ashley Winstead's contemporaries a try. I've read her thriller books. I want to give her contemporaries a read and see what I think about her as a contemporary writer. But yeah, I'm going to hang out this one. Okay, this book. Okay, this is one that I have heard nothing but good things about this book, and just 5 stars all over the place. Everybody loves it. It's an adult fantasy book. For me, this would be probably a 5-star prediction. I really think that I will read this one and absolutely love it. And that is Jade City by Fonda Lee. Now, the reason I went ahead and pulled the plug and purchased this is because I read a novella by Fonda Lee recently, a couple months ago, and I loved it. I loved it. And I know now that I want to read more from her. Like that novella, I would have read a full novel about what that novella was about. And so I was like, kind of, okay, this has been on my radar for quite a while. I might as well go ahead and pick it up because now I know that I enjoy her writing and I want to see what she does with the full novel. And again, I've heard really good things about this, but this is the first book in a trilogy and I've heard very good things about it. And then I went ahead and grabbed After That Night by Karen Slaughter. This is her newest release in the Will Trent series. Am I ready to read this? No, I have not even touched the Will Trent series yet. I am still in the Grant County series. I still need to read book number 3 in the Grant County series. It's fine. But this one is autographed. So that's awesome. And I just figured I'd go ahead and pick up a copy because I knew I was going to get a hardcover and, you know, it was autographed. So why not go ahead and grab this one? But this is the most recent Will Trent book. I'll get there eventually. And when I'm ready, she will be sitting here. Okay, last but not least, this one. Okay, some of you may have heard about this, but this is called Myrtle. This is volume 1 of Myrtle. Myrtle is a book of logic puzzles that solve murders. So you get clues and codes and mysteries. Who committed the ghastly deed, sinister weapon, what weapon did they use, where did they do this? So it's almost like kind of a clue thing, but you're using like deduction and logic and stuff. And it's literally like puzzles that you write in here and you figure it out. And there's one, let's see. So this is like number 55 here. So you have suspects, you have locations, you have motives, and then there's like puzzles to do. Like one of this says the shortest suspects has a climbing axe. So like, that could maybe be something. The suspect who wanted to see if they could had a weapon made at least partially out of ceramic. Coach Raspberry was seen swimming in ice cold water. Like, so there's a bunch of clues and stuff and you have to kind of deduce and see who, what, when, where, why. Yeah. And then the next one they're each like 2 pages with all the stuff in them and you just kind of deduce stuff. And there's like different types of puzzles throughout here as well. So yeah, fun stuff. And kind of like the more you go on, a little bit more difficult it gets as well. And you get like more hints and more clues and stuff and all that. And I think that there's some extra stuff at the back for each one too. So I heard about this on the Currently Reading podcast. Meredith was talking about it and she said, it's just so much fun. She does like 1 a day or something. So yeah, it used to be an online thing and then they put it into a print edition. There are 2 different volumes out now, volume 1 and volume 2. So I grabbed volume 1 and I think that this will be fun to do. So I think all of us got one of these. But yeah, so just a little fun time. Okay, guys, that is it. Those are all the books that I picked up on our BookTube Besties trip in Phoenix. It was so much fun. We visited some great bookstores and had a great time. So let me know down below if you have read any of these. Where should I start? All that good stuff. And I will see you guys again soon. Hope you have a great day. Bye.